Okay, hi guys. This is my first YouTube video in a very long time, and I'm very excited because I've been doing the content on my Instagram page, which I will put right over here for you if you want to check that out. If you're new here, if you don't know who I am, I'm Sophia, nice to meet you. I have been doing some content stuff for this Instagram page for about a year now, almost a year, and it's been such a cool thing, and I've been wanting to add a YouTube aspect to it for a very long time. It just never worked out. I didn't have the materials to do so, and now I do, so I'm very, very excited to jump into this whole aspect of social media creation. So I'm very excited. So yeah, I just said so probably like a lot of times. Anyway, this whole video is just to kind of give you a premise of my heart for my YouTube channel, my heart for my social media page, and to kind of give you a look into just me as a person and what my entire goal of talking to you guys is in any video I create, in any post I create, in any aesthetic you follow. Because it's really not about the aesthetic, and we'll get into what it really is about. And so this video is titled, This is Good News. So if you wandered onto this video because you had a bad day and you need some good news, you're in the right place. If you've been following my page for a really long time and you know what this video is going to be about, great, stick around as well, because we all can remind ourselves of what this topic is every single day, and we should. Because it is the basis of why we are alive. It is the only thing that's going to give you true satisfaction, joy, fulfillment, peace, and all the other good things about life. So let's just dive right in. I just wanted to share with you from my own experience, the Bible, and just living the life as a believer for a long time, what the gospel means to me, and what the good news really is. And so if you're curious about what that even means, if you've never heard the word gospel, or if you've heard it your entire life, please stick around, please listen to this, and just let God speak to you in a fresh way, or let him speak to you for the first time ever if you've never experienced God before. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning, because why not? It's a good story. In the beginning, God created man. He created everything beautiful about the earth. He created the mountains, the seas. He separated dark from light. Everything that humanity finds beautiful today is because God created it. Anyway, he created all these things, and then he creates humanity. And what was the purpose of creating humanity? For him to be in relationship with us, for him to enjoy us, for us to enjoy him, for us to live in paradise together, for us to commune together. And what humanity did is, I want us to all imagine a relationship, a spouse who continually is unfaithful to his wife or cheats on his wife. There is no foundation and very little hope for a relationship that's built on such betrayal. So imagine humanity, in a way, being married to God in the beginning, where he creates just this beautiful relationship with humanity, breaking God's heart by choosing everything against him. So the initial sin, eating the fruit that God told them not to for their own protection, turning into years upon years upon years upon thousands of years of humanity choosing every other thing, every other temporary solution, every other idol, every other choice, except for the one who loved them fully and perfectly. And so imagine the hurt in God's heart. I'm sure that you've experienced, just as a person, how evil our thoughts are in general. How without God, there is nothing about us that could be perfect or whole without him. And so if you've never experienced wholeness in God, please stick around, because there's a way to. But anyway, humanity goes for years and years and years and years choosing against God, and God's just constantly trying to reach his people. There's obviously a lot more details that go into this, but that's why I encourage you to get in your word and read all those details yourself. This is an overview. This is the gospel for you. People had continually just tried to strive and meet God. So God's up here and humanity's here. Humanity tries and tries and tries to reach God by doing good deeds and doing all these things, and God is reaching out to humanity, but there's a complete disconnect, because no relationship can be from light to darkness. Light and darkness can't be in relationship together. If you're in a dark room and someone brings a candle in there that's bright, no longer is the room dark anymore. There can't be relationship between light and dark. So God can't be in relationship with humanity. And so thousands of years go by of people sacrificing, trying to atone for their sins, of people trying to reach God, of people trying to be back in relationship with Him, but there being no real solution. And so God, looking at the situation from just His perspective, there was no solution unless He became the sacrifice. And so He Himself in flesh decided as a sinless and perfect being to go and sacrifice Himself to defeat death completely freeing every human from trying to strive and meet God. And now God coming down literally and meeting humanity where they're at, defeating death itself, raising back to life, proving that God is the only thing that can completely eradicate sin and defeat death. And so then the Bible in Romans says that all who call upon the Lord will be saved, meaning that when we trust that God is the only thing, the only perfect being that could save us from our own sin, from our own unrighteousness, it comes to realizing that we really could never do it on our own, and recognizing that we need God, who became our sacrifice, to come into our lives and help transform our lives so that we can live in freedom. That is what the gospel is. That is what being saved means. It means accepting Jesus as your Lord. It means putting Him above all, so that instead of feeling like it's rules and regulations, you're actually living how you were meant to live. You're actually living in complete freedom, where the Lord is your consistent provider. He's giving you the joy, He's giving you the peace, and we don't have to rely on any outside source that is temporary to fulfill us, because they never will. And if you go through life long enough, you'll know that. If you're waiting on social media to bring you joy every time you scroll, it's never gonna happen. If you're waiting on drugs to fulfill your satisfaction, it's never gonna happen. You're always gonna be searching for the next high, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, whether it's relationships, whether it's whatever it is, any sort of addiction. Any person could never, ever, ever fulfill what God can fulfill in your life. And what's so crazy about this whole thing, and this is what's crazy to me, is no matter how long I've been a believer, I can look at that story and be like, man, there's parts of that just don't make sense to me. Like, well, how did He come down, and how did these things get put together, and all these things? One, a lot of those answers are in the Word, but two, of course it doesn't make sense. Because a God that loves humanity so much, humanity that's unworthy, humanity that's broken, humanity that completely destroyed God's heart, for God to come down and save us from our own sin, and not only give us eternal life with Him, but give us a life of freedom and joy and peace no matter what the situation, that doesn't make sense. It never will make sense. And so that's what's so cool, is speaking from my position as a believer. I've been a believer my entire life. Never once has the cross made logistical sense to me. I don't deserve the freedom He's given me. I don't deserve the life He's given me. I don't deserve the joy and peace through every single traumatic and scary situation in my life. I don't deserve any of that, but He came down and gave it to me anyway, because He loves me wholly, He sees me wholly, He loves me fully. And that's it. That's the basics. Obviously there's a whole lot more to that. And so many other crazy ways to explain the cross. The number one most painful way to die was taken on by our Savior, who is sinless, perfect, and holy, for your freedom, for your joy, for your peace, for your eternity with Him. All because, not because you're worthy, not because you did anything right or could do anything right, but because you were worth death to Him. You were worth the sacrifice to Him, and you were worth His love. And so I just wanted to iterate that to you, and just as being the first video that's ever gonna be on my page besides my testimony from a long time ago, actually about a year ago, I wanted you to know my heart, that nothing on my page, nothing about this YouTube channel is about the aesthetic. I try to do that because it's kind of fun. Social media is fun for me. But it's never ever to draw you to a color scheme. It's never ever to draw you to a well-created video. It's never to draw you to me as a person because, man, I could never be Jesus for you. It's to drive you straight to your knees in front of the cross, whether you've known who God is your whole life or you've never ever met him. My entire goal on this page, in this YouTube channel, and whatever other platforms the Lord gives me, is to drive you straight to who God is and who he's created you to be, and just to maybe answer some questions from you guys. So that's my whole goal. That's why I'm here. The Lord's given me a platform, so I'm gonna use it. And so the first thing I wanted to do was share the gospel with you, just from my own perspective, from my own love for the Lord. Sorry, my dog just literally ran into the door. And just be present with you in this moment and share with you how much I love getting to know some of you, and how much the Lord has impacted my life and how much more he can impact yours. So I love you guys. I hope you have the best day, and God has a lot for you. You're the best. Love you. Bye.